Namaskar. I'm Dr. Sonali Naik. Today we are going to read the 13th chapter of Gajanan Maharaj Pothi. Before that, let us do a meditation. Sit quietly, close your eyes. Concentrate your attention on your Agya Chakra. See in your mind's eye. You are sitting on a beach. The atmosphere is pleasant. A cool breeze is blowing. You can hear the beautiful sounds of the waves. You are very quiet, very peaceful, meditating upon Lord Rama. Lord Rama is standing in front of you. On seeing him, you are filled with happiness. You bow to him. He blesses you with eternal health and happiness. You are filled with happiness and peace. The protective cover of his blessing stays with you all throughout your life. Inside this, you are forever protected, forever guided, forever loved, forever prospered. That is why your life is full of sweetness, full of enthusiasm, full of deep happiness. Give thanks. Slowly open your eyes. Jai Gajanan. Shri Ganeshaya Nama. O Shri Hari, the Saint Supreme, Ocean of kindness, beloved of Gopis. God Brahma came to steal cows and calves in Gokul to have a fitful darshan of you. You turned yourself into those forms to please him. You killed Kalia, serpent of the Yamuna river, to free the Gopis of his menace forever. Likewise, crush my ignorance to rid me of my fears. Pankaj, Hari, and Lakshman, Vittu and Jagdev as one, went around collecting donations for the monastery of Sri Gajanan. While many devotees readily subscribed, some non-believers criticized. Why should the saint need donations when he performs sensations? Why should he ask for money from others when he can get it straight from the Kuber's coffers? Jagdev laughed at their mischief and said, the money we need is for your sake. Maharaj doesn't require a temple or a hood. The construction is for you, your own good. This universe is his monastery. Forests are his gardens of pleasant diversity. This earth is his bed of limitless spread. All the 8 siddhis are awaiting his summons. His splendor is entirely beyond conception. How can a candle help the sun in diffusing darkness? How can a watchman surpass the king's glory? One pious deed is enough to fulfill your dreams. Remedies curing ills are futile for soul's esteem. Diseases threaten the body, not the spirit. Soul is eternal. It has no birth or demise. You have to accumulate good deeds and blessings to enjoy and protect your well-being. If you consider your affluence as a body and bad habits as a malady, the disease can be removed indeed by performing pious deeds. Thus build up piety in your credit with no apprehension in your mind. Sow seeds of good deeds to reap the benefit. Don't scatter seeds on a rocky surface. They will never sprout and will go waste. Bad habits and thoughts are such spots. Seeds sown there will be eaten by roaches and ants. There is no piety like reverence to saints. Sri Gajanan today is a jewel amongst them. A donation in such a cause will multiply your credit. A seed sown in soil brings forth more yield. Similar is the effect of good charity. The critics were subdued by this advice. All arguments go haywire when confronted with facts and figures. Contributions poured because of influential people, ordinary folks cannot contribute such donations. A compound wall was soon built around the lot. People of Shigao gathered to help the cause. Bullock carts containing material for construction. Saint Gajanan watched them from his residence. He thought that the work may gather speed if he shifts to the site of the construction indeed. He jumped on a cart carrying sand. The driver stepped down as he was Mahar. Why so? Asked the saint. I don't care whether you are an untouchable or an esquire. The Mahar said, it is not appropriate for me to sit next to a saint. God Hanuman was a devotee of Sri Ram, but never sat next to him at all. So be it, I don't object, said the saint. Oh bullock, just take the cart on the right trail. The bullock went as instructed and arrived at the designated spot. The cartman was walking ahead. The saint alighted from the cart and sat in the center of the plot where stands his monument today. This spot falls in between two survey numbers, 43 and 45 of the lot. Construction with this as a center would mean encroachment on an outer piece of land. The trust was granted only 1 acre, but with such a situation, violation would occur. They did it as the collector had agreed to allot more after gauging how the work proceeds. Some mischievous elements reported this to the government. Devotees were disturbed and informed the saint that an officer Joshi would inquire into this incident. Sri Gajanan Maharaj laughed and said that the fine imposed would be exempted. It came to be true. Joshi inspected the matter and waived the charges in his order. Hari Patil was especially happy. Words of Maharaj don't go in vain. Last time in a similar case, the saint had said, don't be afraid, and it did come true that I was saved. Similar incident has recurred today. His kind words won't go astray. They can never remain empty. Devotees from far and near gathered together at the saint's feet and offered prayers. Some incidents at the new monastery soon became noteworthy. A Gosavi named Ganga Bharti came from a village, Saudad, in Mehikar Taluka. He suffered from leprosy and had scars all over his body. The disease had worn out his fingertips. His skin was red and suffered from an itch. He was totally tired of his sufferings. He heard of the saint and came for his blessings. Devotees did not allow him near the saint. The disease is contagious, as they said. They advised him to stay away, take a glimpse of the saint, and go out of the way. In spite of the warning, Ganga Bharti grabbed a timely opportunity. He rushed to Maharaj to bow down to him as a last resort. Maharaj slapped him on his head, and as he got up, he got many slaps on his face. After this, Maharaj kicked him hard and spat on his body, deceased. Ganga Bharti took it as a blessing and spread the spittle as ointment dressing. Someone standing by criticized him and asked him to clean himself with a suggestion not to indulge in such a blind faith again. He advised Ganga Bharti to take medicines instead of coming to a crazy man like this. Ganga Bharti smiled and said, nothing is impure with the saints. Musk will never release a reeking stench. What appeared to you as a saliva is an ointment for my skin. It smells like musk. If you so like, come touch it, smell it. It appeared to you thus as you don't need it. You don't understand the greatness of Maharaj. To prove what I say, let us go to the place where he takes his daily bath. Therefrom I take mud and anoint myself and watch what happens next. For Ganga Bharti, it turned into an ointment. It remained as mud in the critic's extent, making him realize the greatness of the saint. No one in the congregation allowed Ganga Bharti to sit near Gajanan. He had a melodious voice. He sang devotional songs of his choice. This continued for a fortnight, and then a miracle came to sight. The rash on the skin had vanished. Earlobes returned to normal size. Cracks on the feet were all gone. Stench of the person was a thing of the past. He went on singing devotional songs which pleased the audience all day long. Anusuya, his wife, and son Santosh came to Shega to take him home. By the grace of the saint, you are cured, they said. With his permission, let us go back to our village. Ganga Bharti said, don't pray to me. I no more belong to you, I swear. Maharaj has slapped me and brought me to my senses, saying that I shouldn't degrade the saffron robe I wear. I have a new vision to understand the strife. I desire to stay away from family life. Santosh, you better go home with your mother. Obey her and take good care of her. Be like Pundarik in serving her with love. That will bring you blessings from God Vasudev. If I come back, the disease will catch me again. So refrain from forcing me in vain. Till now I belong to you, I agree. But from now on, I will devote myself to the divinity. To free myself from the cycle of birth and death, this change in me is due to Maharaj's grace. Please don't tempt me anymore. Saying this, he sent them back to Sauda and stayed on in Chegao since then, singing daily evening prayers, sitting before Maharaj and the followers. This was an enchantment for everyone. He was completely cured of the disease and then went to Malkapur as the saint wished. Once in the month of Paush, Jam Singh came to Shega and requested the saint to visit his village Mundaga. He reminded the saint of the promise made to visit his village. Accordingly, he had come to take him home. Maharaj went with him where a big crowd had gathered to greet him on the village outskirts. Jam Singh arranged a grand feast to celebrate the saint's visit. Mundagaon became the second Paitan, where Eknath was treated with such a great aplomb. In the presence of Sri Gajanan, many visiting parties arranged bhajans. Cooks got busy in making prasad for the devotees of Maharaj. When the preparations were halfway through, Maharaj halted the process, though saying, Chamsing, today is a void day, the 14th day of the waxing moon. Better arrange the feeding tomorrow on the festival of full moon. Jamsing said that the food was all set and devotees had gathered to participate in the feast. Maharaj said, what you say is correct in your own way, but this is not an appropriate day acceptable to God. Please obey. This food will go waste. As I see, that's what you don't want it to be. You wish the event to go as per your desire, but it doesn't seem to be possible here. Even when people squatted down for food, suddenly the sky changed its mood. Clouds gathered and poured rain. Then a thunderstorm lashed again. Wind and lightning uprooted many trees. Water went running as in streams. It came into the plates and served for the day. All the food was swept away. Jam Singh approached the saint and said, the devotees are all disappointed by this untimely rain. I hope this does not recur tomorrow. This is not our rainy season, we all know. It appears the storm lashed this region only to spoil the food preparation. Our crops may be destroyed by such precipitation. People will taunt me by asking, is this a reward your piety brings? The saint said it won't happen the next day. He just looked up at the clouds and they cleared. They all vanished and the sky was clear. Sun brightened up the entire atmosphere. Such was the supremacy of the saint's day. Next day, the devotees enjoyed the fair. The tradition of feeding people on this day continues at Mundgaon even today. Jam Singh surrendered all his estate at the feet of the revered saint. Many residents of Mundgaon village became disciples of Gajanan the saint. Pundalik Bhokre was one amongst the people, a sturdy young man of principle. He was the only son of Ukeda, the farmer. The name Ukeda may sound peculiar. Such names are given to children to ensure their survival. As Penteya in Telangana and Kerpunja in Maharashtra elsewhere. Pundalik visited Shegao on 11th day of the waning moon, like devotees visiting Pandharpur, Arandi and Dehu. Once an epidemic of plague spread over Birar. People fled their houses and went to live on the fields afar. The symptoms of the disease are that the patient shivers and then develops a very high temperature. His eyes become red in color, followed by a gland in the joint anywhere. The patient then loses his cognizance and finally succumbs to the infection. This was never a disease of our land. It prevailed over the European continent and traveled to India on a weird journey to soon infect our beloved country. People abandoned their houses and resided in fields to protect themselves. This killer disease invaded Mundaga when Pundalik was to visit Shega. When he left for Shega with his father, he was feeling feverish with a shiver. After going 10 miles on the road, he could not walk anymore. A gland appeared in his armpit. He couldn't walk a step more on the street. His father was very much concerned and asked his son about his condition. Pundalik explained to him the state of affairs, his weakness, gland in the armpits, and high fever. Holding his hands, he prayed to the saint, O Gajanan, please see that my routine visit on the scheduled day is not disturbed a bit. Let me reach and touch your feet today. Then I don't care if death takes me away. Please protect me till I reach you all the way. Visits to the shrines and holy places are possible only if the traveler is in good health. Looking at Pundalik's sick state, his father felt sorry immensely. He prayed to God and to save his only son and offered a bullock cart to reach Shegav soon. Pundalik replied, No, I must go on foot daily only. I'll make it walking slowly. He said, If I die, take my body to Shegav. Don't worry about me at all. He walked the distance in great pain and reached the feet of the saint. And in front of him, he fell prostrate. Looking at Pundalik, the sant pressed his own armpit with his hand and said, Pundalik, your malady is over. Don't now fret. When Gajan Maharaj said this, the gland in Pundalik's armpit suddenly vanished. The feeling of weakness also disappeared. When Maharaj ate morsels of food sent by his mother, Pundalik started feeling better. This was the reward for his devotion, a great example for non-believers. Absolute devotion brings undesired results. Pundalik returned to Mundagaon after the visit. Reading about him will avert all your perils. This is a real biography, not a concoction. Everything narrated is what actually happened. There is no reason for anyone to doubt the blessings of Gajanan. May this treatise about the saint bring the readers all happiness. Jai Gajanan.